We were going through our freezer, and you guys are not going to believe this. Got a couple deer last, 2 weekends ago? So, I don't know how most people do it, but I didn't really watch any YouTube videos. I had family and so on and so forth show me things over the years, friends show me different things over the years. So I process all my own deer for us. I guess the cheap's coming out in me. I don't want to pay anybody to do it. And I'm not saying I do it the right way, because I just do it my way. And like I said, my way doesn't necessarily mean the right way, but I just I quarter everything out, put it in the cooler on ice and salt for about 2 weeks. This is the hind quarter that I'm processing right now. And I basically just pull different sections of muscle off of the hind quarter, and then I pull as much of the sinew and sort of the fat. So I take all this, I cut it all up, and then I will grind it. So today I'm just basically taking and pulling all the meat off of the bones. Like I said, this is the hind quarter. I've already done 3 or 4 hind quarters, and I've got 3 front quarters in the cooler still. So I'm gonna do those in a bit. But I've got probably, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way done. So, and then anyway, so as I'm processing or cutting everything off the bone, you keep seeing me go over here. I've got a bucket off to the side. I take all this meat, I put it in a bucket, and then tomorrow we'll grind it all. I'd say 90% of what I pull off the deer, I grind it, because we eat a lot of burger and a lot of sausage. I save the back straps and we jerky those. The tenderloins, I typically will take and save those till New Year's, and I'll do like a bacon wrap tenderloin sort of recipe that's like so good. And I'll do that at New Year's. Typically New Year's Day we'll do the bacon wrap tenderloins. I typically get about, I don't know, 2 to 4 deer or something like that a year.
Season?
Yeah, season year. And then I get the tenderloins out of that, and then I use those at New Year's for our New Year's Day dinner. So, like I said, it's really good. So, but like right now, I'm like I said, I'm just pulling the meat off the bone. I'll put all the meat over here off to the side, and then I'll start cleaning the meat itself up, getting a bunch of some of the fat and some of the sometimes you get like different blood vessels or arteries are in there. I try to get some of that stuff out. I am very anal about what I'm pulling out for the most part. If you were to take it to a processor isn't paying quite as much attention. So they're pulling it all apart and they're grinding up a lot of stuff inside the meat. Whereas I don't necessarily want that in there. I want it to be a lot more tender. I try to get as much of the gaminess out of the meat. That's another reason why I put it on ice and salt for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I don't get every single piece of sinew off. It don't happen. It can't be done. I mean, I guess it could, but it would take really long time. If I'm processing a hind quarter, and I know people are going to be like, "What? It takes you that long?" If I process a hind quarter, it typically takes me about an hour for one hind quarter, maybe 45 minutes, just because I am trying to get everything I possibly can out of the meat when it comes to stuff I don't want. So all I'm trying to get is the actual meat itself. And then tomorrow we'll grind it and we'll make our own burger. We'll make our own sausage. So I got a local place that I typically go and get the fat. I typically will get pork fat and beef fat. I'll buy that from them, and then I'll mix that in my ground. My ground is about 20% fat and 80% meat. And I'll weigh all that out on a scale, and then put it in the bucket, and then get it all good and mixed up. So a good ratio or good number, I guess, for you to understand when it comes to like the percentage side of it is like when I said 80-20, it's like if you got 10 pounds of meat, 2 pounds of, or if you got 10 pounds of ground, 2 pounds of the ground is fat, and 8 pounds of it is actual like meat, muscle off the deer. So. So a lot of people are under sort of a misconception, at least I feel like they are. I was when I first started hunting and cleaning deer and processing my own meat. You get let's say you get a 150-pound deer. Well, a 150-pound deer, when you go to process it, you're not getting 150 pounds of meat because you got to get all of the bones and the guts and everything else out of it. So in this particular case, you're only gonna, like a 150-pound deer, you might end up with maybe 60 pounds or so, 70 pounds of meat. And actually, that's probably more like 60 pounds of meat for a 150-pound deer. So tomorrow, I'll show you how we do the grind. It's super simple. I just got a grinder, and we just take all the meat that we have and we run it through the grinder. And then we have a vacuum sealer, and we'll actually vacuum seal it and package it. We do 1 pound packages of the ground, burger as well as sausage. So I have a seasoning. I just use the seasoning. So I'll get, let's say, 25 pounds of meat, and then I'll mix the seasoning in with it, get it all mixed up inside the bucket, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator, and I'll let it sit in the refrigerator in the seasoning for 24 hours before I actually package that up. The ground will probably do the same, but I don't think it's quite as important to let it sit as long. I just want the before it gets frozen, I want the mixture, the seasoning mixture for the sausage to sit and sort of marinate inside of it, so it gets the flavors in there really good. And once again, I don't know if that's the appropriate way to do it or not. It's just what I've always done and what I was taught to do. So everybody's got their own opinions on how things maybe should be done or how they do their own stuff. But at the end of the day, it works for us, and it saves us a bunch of money because I get to process it all myself and don't have to pay somebody to do it. So whether it's quartering it out or whether it's cutting up the meat and grinding it and making my own, burgers and sausage, jerky, steaks. Sometimes we'll take the back straps instead of jerking them. We'll cut them up and we'll make tips. Another reason we process deer meat, outside of the fact that we all enjoy it, is Kristen eats a lot of deer meat. So she goes through, she loves it. I mean, just loves deer meat. Don't get me wrong, I love deer meat too, but she eats about a pound of ground a day because she mixes it up with all kind of stuff. So on top of her, eating ground, and us, we do a lot of sausage and breakfast and stuff like that in the morning time too. So we sort of have to have deer meat because if we bought that much ground from the grocery store, it'd be very expensive. So we were going through our freezer And you guys are not gonna believe this, but Kristen and I just hit 22 years of being married. And as we're going through our freezer, we came across a bucket, which we know about, but we saved, and it's now traveled with us for 22 years and 3 different moves to houses.
This is the 4th move, right? This is the 4th.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4th move. 4 moves.
Yep.
4 moves. And it is our wedding cake. I guess you call it the topper. Wedding cake topper? I don't know.
Yeah, it is the topper. Or the top of the cake.
It is.
In the same container that we got it from the day we got married. The beautiful container. The same aluminum foil on this beautiful cake. Beautiful. Only a mother would love this cake. Because you have to. It is so hard. And then our napkins from our wedding.
It is petrified. That's crazy. So, I don't know.
Napkins. Let me see. Yeah. With our napkins.
So, how many of you can say you still have your wedding cake after 22 years?
And it can hold it like this. It's kind of like a
And you're supposed to eat the wedding cake.
Exercises with it.
You're supposed to eat the wedding cake. I guess 1 year later, right?
Yeah.
Well, for us, 1 year later after our wedding, we actually brought home our daughter on our 1 year anniversary. So the cake never got touched. The priority was taking care of her, and so the cake is still here. And I guess now it's just, you can't get rid of it.
You can't get rid of it now. I'm not getting rid of it. This will be here forever.
So if you still have your wedding cake, comment, leave a comment in the post, and tell us if you still have your wedding cake.
Yeah.
But it's pretty weird.
Smells like icing still.
Yeah, it still smells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try it.
Well, you can't because it's all
That's crazy.
cured. So
There you go.
we'll let the kids deal with that one day.
Yeah, we'll be dead and gone, and the kids will have to deal
Have
with
to fight over who wants the cake.
who wants the cake.
Yep.
All right.